question with a given answer. The answer that I have given is, the artist laughs his masterpiece in only 1 week and promptly submitted it to the museum for exhibiting. Now, my question is, there are two things it has to be, right? Number one, it has to be grammatical. And number two, it has to be logical in the context. Okay, so this is what I'm asking you. Is it grammatical? Is it logical? So for A, it is both grammatical and logical. For B, it is contextually correct, it's logical, but it's not grammatical. For C, it's grammatical, but it's not contextually correct. And for D, it is not contextually correct, and it is not grammatical. Okay, so we did this exercise way back, I think 5 weeks ago when we first started Comprehension Cloze. I gave you answers that were ungrammatical and answers that were not contextually correct, and we worked through the answer. So now I need you to assess the question, assess the answer. Do you think that this word laughs is grammatical and or logical? Okay, if you get it wrong, it's okay. We warm up. You will get the hang of it as we go along. So I think most of you understand what I'm asking for. This is not grammatical and it is not contextually correct. So how do we know? Number one, if we think about context, okay, can an artist laugh a masterpiece? No, it is not grammatically correct. So we know it is either C or D because it is not contextually correct at all. Okay, and grammar-wise, we can see in the rest of the sentence, the other verb here is in past tense. So we know that this ideally should be in past tense as well because it is already done in the past week. So it is the wrong tense. So it's also not grammatically correct. Okay, so the answer is D. It is neither contextually correct nor grammatical. Okay, so if I were to change my answer then, okay, to decorated, is it grammatical? Is it contextually correct? When we look at this word now, decorated, do we decorate a masterpiece? Is that what an artist does? Do artists decorate masterpieces? What do artists do? So I don't think this is actually, it's a rhetorical question. I will get to it later on. I don't think this is contextually correct at all. So it is not contextually correct. Okay, but it is grammatical. We are now in the correct tense. So we are getting closer. Okay, it is grammatical, yes. It makes grammatical sense. The tense is correct. It is a verb, but it is not contextually correct. Okay, let's try again. What about this answer? Is this contextually correct? Is it grammatical? What do you think? Okay, so yes, this is contextually correct. The word is the root word create is correct. It is just not grammatical, right? Because we've gone one step backwards from being the correct tense. We are now in the wrong tense. Okay, so who can tell me what is the correct answer here? What should this blank be? Painted. Okay, painted is a better answer. Not so much made because he's made his masterpiece only 1 week. Not the best answer, right? We want to really understand what the artist's process is. So we don't know if this artist is a painter or there's not much context here. But yes, these are all acceptable answers. So the artist created his masterpiece, or the artist completed his masterpiece, or painted his masterpiece, or finished his masterpiece. Okay, drew not so much because drew his masterpiece. Not the best answer. You can draw a masterpiece. I don't think you really say you draw a masterpiece. You draw a sketch, or you draw a you don't really draw a masterpiece. You draw a sketch, okay, or you draw something, or you draw a person. You don't really use the word draw with the word masterpiece. They don't really collocate very well. Okay, so we want words like created, completed, painted only if you know that this artist is a painter. If this artist were a sculptor, for example, then it would be sculpted, right? It depends on what he was doing, what kind of artist he is. We don't know for sure here. Okay, so in this case, this is actually a weak collocator, which means that this kind of question will only come out for your vocab MCQ. Why? Because if it were to come out for your comprehension cloze, there are too many possible answers that can go in. Okay, whereas for your vocab MCQ, they are limiting you to 4 possible answers. So you choose one answer out of the 4. Okay, so this is most likely to come up for your vocab MCQ. Okay, let's try another question. All right, read carefully. Tell me what the correct answer is. Is this grammatical? Is this contextually correct? What is your answer? Okay, one more time into the bridge. Now you see I've got answers in every single category. Okay, so let's think about this. Okay, some people are going to say this should be in present tense, but because of the word be and because of the nature of the word adopt, the tense here is actually correct. So it is grammatical. Okay. However, it is not contextually correct because you do not adopt a kitten from the cat. That would be like saying you go up to the cat and say, "Hi cat, may I please adopt your little kitten?" We don't do that, right? We adopt a kitten from the cat fosterer, or from the organization like XPCA. Okay, we adopt the cats from the organization. We don't adopt a cat from the cat's mother. Okay, so in this case, it is grammatical, but it's not contextually correct. Okay, now who can tell me what the best possible answer is if this were a blank? Adopted is totally the wrong word. What would the correct answer be? Yes. Taken. Okay, taken, yes. Stolen, not so much. Okay, so taken is one possible answer. What other answers, Jaden?
We wanted to say taken.
Taken?
Yeah, we wanted to say.
Okay, I will give you a point for taken. Jaden, why? Do you have another answer?
No, I also wanted to say taken.
Everybody wants to say taken. Okay. All right, my other answer is separated. Okay, so they should not be separated. I will accept taken. That's a very good answer. I didn't think of that. Okay, so newborn kittens should not be taken from their mothers, or they should not be separated from their mothers. Same idea, because you are dividing the two up. Okay, so taken or separated would be the correct answer here. Okay? All right, let's try one more. I think this could be the last one. Okay, despite facing several unexpected difficulties, Michael finally succeeded in sailing across the Atlantic Ocean solo. Is this contextually correct? Is it grammatical? What is your answer? Despite facing several unexpected difficulties, Michael finally succeeded in sailing across the Atlantic Ocean solo. Okay, so here it says several, and several is plural, so more than one. Okay, so this also has to be plural. It cannot be singular. Okay, Jaden, why it's not a tense? Okay, it's plural and singular. Okay, so this is actually contextually correct, but not grammatical, because it does not match. Several is plural. This should be plural. Okay, this is a classic case of a common mistake that students make in their comprehension cloze. You get the correct answer, but it is in the wrong form. So sometimes it's in the wrong word form, or it's in the wrong tense, or it's the wrong plural or singular form. And then it is very sad because you got the word, and it's so hard already to get the word correct. And you manage to understand that, yes, the word is here. We face a difficulty, right? But because you didn't see the word several, or because you didn't see that it was supposed to be plural, or you forgot to change it, this is where you get your mistake. And whether or not you have a totally random word, or whether you have the correct word in the wrong form, it is still -1 mark. Okay, so really have to check for things like this. Okay, let's try another one. I think this is the last one, sorry. Okay, so there are 2 blanks in this one. We don't focus on the second blank first. We're just looking at the first blank. Okay, the messenger, desperate to reach his king with the news, had rode his horse so hard that it collapsed and died when they blanked their destination. Now, don't just ignore the second blank. We'll get to that later on. The first blank, rode. Is this word contextually correct? Is it grammatical? What is your answer? Okay, so this is indeed grammatically incorrect, or grammatically inaccurate, but contextually correct. You all know that you ride a horse, right? Although the phrase so hard might be a little bit confusing, you might be thinking, can you describe riding as hard? Yes, you can. This is actually true, okay? You can ride a horse so hard, which means that you ride so fast and for so long. It means you gallop the horse all the way that when you finally stop, the horse will just collapse and die, okay? Because their hearts have been overworked, okay? Their bodies have been overworked. So this messenger has been riding, that the horse collapsed and died when they reached their destination. We got to their destination. Well, in
Because
Singapore, the sausage is quite safe because we are regulated. Yes, in the past, they have made horse meat into sausages. In other countries, they also do eat horse meat as part of their culture. Uh, well, if you ask me, meat is meat. I'm not really bothered. I would only be bothered if I were told that it's something and then they trick you into eating another kind of meat. Then that's disturbing. But if you wanted to eat horse meat, then by all means, it's your own choice. Okay, but yes, they do make horse meat, like this kind of horses, if they're like farm horses, what they do is that they convert the horse into not really sausage for human beings if they are working horses, but they convert it into like pet food. Okay, so you may find horse meat in your pet food because it's just a way of recycling and making sure that things are not wasted, right? A dead animal can be used for animal food. Okay, so yes, Jaden, thank you for that interesting fact. Okay, so it is contextually correct, but it's not grammatical. Now, what is the correct answer here? It should be written, okay? It is not accurate here. It should be written. Why? Because of the word had, it becomes past perfect tense. Okay, so the correct answer should be written. Now, the second answer, I think you should know because I already mentioned it. What is the answer in that blank? Who can tell me? So I did mention it just now, a slip of the tongue. Okay, so you reach a destination. Um, if it were a longer blank, if you were not, as in not longer blank, but if you were able to put in your own words, you can also say when they got to their destination. But of course, for Compre Cloze, we cannot use two words. We can only use one. So in this case, it has to be reached. Okay, Joelle, do you have another example? A what of bread?
loaves and loaves.